The 12 apostles of Jesus Christ were simple men from diverse backgrounds such as fishermen, farmers, and craftsmen. They left everything to follow their master. As witnesses to the resurrection of Jesus, they were called to spread the gospel throughout the world. However, their testimony was not without challenges. They faced persecution and martyrdom because of their faith. They sacrificed their lives for the love of Christ. Their deaths were not due to natural causes. Each one is a shocking testimony to their loyalty to their master and to the extreme cruelty that humanity can inflict on its fellow man. If you are curious about the fate of the 12 apostles and think that they died of common causes, you are completely wrong. Their lives and deaths are shrouded in mystery, controversy, and macabre narratives. In this video, explore all the details recorded in the Bible, as well as information reported by the church and historians. That is why I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Click on the like button and watch this video until the end. John the Apostle. The beloved John the Apostle is a central and mysterious figure. In the biblical narratives, he was the son of Zebedee and Salome and brother of James, also an apostle. His story is marked by a unique closeness to Jesus, being frequently described as the one whom Jesus loved. This special relationship provided John with unique insight into the events and teachings of Jesus. Known for his spiritual sensitivity and deep understanding, John was of extreme importance. In transmitting the teachings of Jesus, he was present at crucial moments, such as the Transfiguration and the Last Supper, where he lay beside the Master after the death of Jesus. John played a crucial role in the early Christian community in Jerusalem. He witnessed the ascension of Christ and was a vital link between the apostles. However, John's fate is shrouded in mystery and symbolism. John suffered various persecutions, mainly led by the Emperor Domitian. Due to his preaching of the gospel in Ephesus, according to tradition, John was captured, tortured, and then thrown into a cauldron of boiling oil. However, God miraculously preserved his life, and he suffered no harm. Before the miracle, the emperor decreed that he be exiled to the island of Patmos, which functioned as a prison of the empire. I emphasize that there is no verse biblical that affirms, or that we can use as a reference, to affirm that John was thrown into the hot oil before being taken to the island of Patmos. What we have in this case is only the tradition of the so-called church fathers, affirming nothing more than this. The church fathers were in fact zealous men who developed the theology still used by the church today. Many accounts and details about the deaths of the apostles were described by the church fathers and by Christian doctrine. Later, John was exiled to the island of Patmos, where he received apocalyptic visions that are composed and recorded in the book of Revelation in the Bible. These revelations highlight his spiritual proximity and reveal deep teachings about the future. Regarding his death, Christian tradition relates that John, despite several attempts at execution by the Roman authorities, died of natural causes. According to Bishop Polycarp of Ephesus, attested by Eusebius of Caesarea. In his ecclesiastical history, the Apostle John died in Ephesus in Asia Minor in the year 100 AD at approximately 94 years of age. However, it is said that his tomb was empty when it was opened by Constantine to build upon it in the maturity of his years. John, wrapped in the wisdom acquired through decades of reflection and service, became a pillar in the Christian community. His words, full of spiritual depth, guided, corrected, and encouraged the faithful. His teachings, permeated by living alongside Christ, resonated with authority and love, strengthening the roots of the nascent faith. In his final days, the beloved apostle reflected on the fabric of history that he had witnessed, from the humble beginnings on the shores of the Sea of Galilee to the complex plots in Ephesus, where the church was already struggling to maintain its identity in the midst of an often hostile world. In every word he wrote and every advice he gave, John emphasized the heart of the gospel, the unconditional love of God manifested in Jesus Christ. Constantly reminded the community of the importance of remaining faithful to the truth, at the same time that he exhorted love and unity, evoking Jesus' own request for his disciples to be united in the faith. Followers were 1 John chapter 17 verse 21. In the visions recorded in Revelation, John offered the church a perspective of hope and triumph even in the midst of persecution and tribulation, he pointed forward to the ultimate victory of the Lamb Jesus over all the forces of evil these visions filled with. Symbolism served as a source of encouragement to Christians throughout the centuries, reminding them that no matter how great the adversity, the ultimate triumph belongs to God. In the twilight of his life, John left an immeasurable legacy not only as one of the founding apostles of the church, but also as an example of faith, love, and perseverance through his writings. And the life he lived continues to inspire countless generations, always pointing forward to the redemptive and life-changing love of Jesus Christ. James, the brother of John James, known as James, son of Zebedee, was present at the transfiguration, at the resurrection of Herod's daughter, and at the agonizing agony of Jesus in Gethsemane. His close relationship with John and with Christ himself stands out. His prominent position among the apostles, his importance in the Bible, is evidenced by the fact that he was part of the inner circle of the three apostles closest to Jesus. Along with Peter and John, these three witnessed miracles and exclusive teachings, revealing the special trust that Jesus placed in them. However, after the death of Jesus, the career of James had a dramatic outcome. In the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2, it is recorded that Agrippa, the first of Judea, seeking to please the Jews, ordered the execution of James, John's brother. King Herod laid his hands on some of the church to mistreat them and killed James with the sword. The narrative does not provide minute details about the exact method of execution, but tradition suggests that James was or was pierced by a sword. It is important to note that there are two apostles named James in the scriptures: James, son of Zebedee, whom we already know, and James, son of Alphaeus, also known as James the Minor. His active participation in the Gospels is relatively discreet and less obvious in comparison to other apostles. After the death of Jesus, the information about the activities of James and Alphaeus becomes even more scarce. However, Christian tradition suggests that he played a role in the spread of the gospel, possibly by undertaking missions. As to the death of James the Younger, the lack of specific details in the scriptures and the diversity of traditions make the narrative surrounding his death a point of uncertainty. However, most Christian doctrine believes that James, son of Alphaeus, also died on the orders of King Agrippa I in Jerusalem, being beheaded in public. The image of James being beheaded is frequently found in paintings, sculptures, and other religious objects. However, other sources, such as a book from the 1st century AD called The Martyrdom of the Apostles, claim that James was thrown from the pinnacle of the temple in 1st century Jerusalem. The news of the death of James, one of the pillars of the early church, spread rapidly through the streets and marketplaces. His martyrdom not only struck at the heart of Jesus' followers, but also underscored the growing tension between the fledgling Christian community and the Jewish and Roman authorities. His death marked a turning point, a stark reminder of the immense cost of the Christian mission and the unwavering commitment required of its followers. The loss of James evoked both sorrow and determination. Peter and the other apostles, now acutely aware of the imminent dangers, found renewed strength in their faith to continue the mission entrusted to them by Jesus. Though his death was a heavy blow, it also ignited a new wave of evangelization and testimony among believers. Despite persecution, the church began to expand beyond Jerusalem and Judea, reaching Samaria and eventually the farthest reaches of the Roman Empire. The message of the gospel, nourished by the blood of the martyrs, found fertile ground in hearts yearning for hope and truth. Meanwhile, James the Less continued his quiet yet vital ministry, though Scripture provides little detail about his later years. Church tradition suggests that he played a significant role in strengthening the Christian faith. His steadfast and humble dedication helped fortify the community during times of uncertainty and challenge. The stories of the two Jameses, each with his own path and destiny, became a source of inspiration for future generations of Christians. One was called to a public role with a dramatic end, while the other contributed in a quieter yet equally essential way. Reflecting on the lives of the apostles James, son of Zebedee, and James the Less reminds us that discipleship takes many forms, whether in the public square facing the executioner's sword or in the quiet, steadfast service of daily devotion. Both embraced their calling with courage and faithfulness. Their stories continue to resonate in the Church's memory, reminding all believers that no matter the path we follow, we are called to live and testify to our faith with love, courage, and unwavering fidelity. On the other hand, Peter, originally known as Simon, was born in Galilee and worked as a fisherman when Jesus called him to become a fisher of men. His name was later changed to Peter, meaning rock, symbolizing the steadfastness of his faith. Impulsive yet deeply devoted, Peter witnessed miracles such as walking on water and was the first to recognize Jesus as the Christ, the Son of the living God. He played a central role at the Last Supper and was acknowledged as the leader of the apostles. Despite his denial of Jesus during his arrest, he experienced deep repentance and was restored by Christ. After the resurrection, Peter embarked on a journey across the Roman Empire to spread the message of the gospel. Eventually, he settled in Rome, where he assumed leadership of the Christian community. His influence is evident in the Acts of the Apostles, where he played a crucial role in evangelizing, particularly among the Gentiles. In 64 AD, a devastating fire consumed Rome, and Emperor Nero blamed the Christians, launching a fierce persecution against them. Peter was arrested and sentenced to death. According to tradition, he requested to be crucified upside down out of humility, believing himself unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. The site of his crucifixion was Vatican Hill, where today stands the majestic St. Peter's Basilica. His martyrdom made him one of the first key figures of Christianity, significantly contributing to the spread of the gospel throughout the world. His legacy endures, a testament to the strength and dedication with which the early followers of Jesus faced adversity for their faith. The brave and final testimony of Peter's unwavering faith in Jesus Christ remains one of the most powerful narratives in Christian history. During Nero's brutal persecution, countless Christians faced horrific torture and execution, yet their faith remained unshaken. In fact, the suffering of these early believers often strengthened their commitment, fueled by the courageous examples set by leaders like Peter. As the flames of oppression raged, the faith of Christians burned even brighter and inextinguishable, flame that defied death itself. Peter's choice to be crucified upside down, according to tradition, was not only an act of humility, but also a profound testimony of his devotion to Christ. This decision reflected the remarkable transformation of Peter from an impulsive fisherman on the shores of Galilee to the rock upon which the church was built. His leadership and steadfast conviction guided countless others in their walk with Christ. His death was not the end, but rather a new beginning. His story, marked by failure and redemption, courage and sacrifice, continues to inspire Christians across generations. His journey is a testament to God's grace, proving that even the most flawed individuals can be transformed into unwavering disciples. Judas Thaddeus, another of the apostles, also met his fate at the hands of persecution. Tradition suggests that Emperor Nero was responsible for his execution, though details vary. Known also as Lebbaeus Thaddeus or Judas, son of James, he is one of the lesser-mentioned apostles in the Bible, yet his contributions were significant. At the Last Supper, he questioned Jesus about the meaning of his words, demonstrating a sincere desire to understand the mysteries of the kingdom. After Jesus' resurrection, Judas Thaddeus played a crucial role in spreading the gospel, particularly in Mesopotamia and Persia. He is credited with writing a brief but powerful epistle urging believers to remain steadfast in faith and love. Regarding his martyrdom, historical accounts diverge. Some suggest that he was executed alongside Simon the Zealot, while others state he was stoned to death. Another tradition claims he was brutally killed with a machete. Regardless of the precise details, his death remains a testament to his faithfulness to Christ. Today, Judas Thaddeus is revered as the patron saint of lost and desperate causes, symbolizing the hope that endures even in the most difficult circumstances. Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter, may not have been as prominent as some of the other apostles, but he held a special place among Jesus' closest followers. He was present at key moments in the Gospels, such as the miraculous multiplication of the loaves and fishes, where he facilitated the event by introducing a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish. His missionary journey after Jesus' death took him to various regions, including Scotland and Greece, where he is traditionally regarded as the founder of the Church of Constantinople. As for his martyrdom, Christian tradition states that Andrew was crucified in Patras, Greece. Before his execution, he endured brutal torture, including severe beatings. Unlike a traditional crucifixion, he was nailed to an X-shaped cross, later known as the Cross of St. Andrew. It is believed that, like Peter, Andrew requested this form of crucifixion, feeling unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. His remains were later taken to Scotland, where his veneration continued to grow. Philip, originally from Bethsaida like Peter and Andrew, was among the first to follow Jesus. His role in the Gospels highlights moments of faith and doubt, particularly when Jesus challenged him to find a way to feed a large crowd. Philip's response demonstrated a logical, human perspective, but Jesus used the moment to reveal divine power through the miraculous multiplication of food. After Jesus' resurrection, Philip continued his mission, preaching and performing miracles, particularly in Samaria, where he baptized many. Little is known about Philip's death, as the New Testament does not provide details. However, church tradition suggests that he was martyred in Hierapolis, Asia Minor, around 80 AD. He was reportedly crucified and stoned to death during Emperor Domitian's persecution of Christians. Simon the Zealot remains one of the more enigmatic apostles. His title, the Zealot, suggests he may have been associated with the Jewish nationalist group fiercely opposed to Roman rule. If so, his transformation into a follower of Jesus marked a radical shift from political rebellion to spiritual devotion. Details of his life after Jesus' resurrection are scarce, and accounts of his martyrdom vary. Most traditions agree that he met a brutal end, though the exact nature of his death remains uncertain. Bartholomew, another of the 12, is often identified with Nathanael from the Gospel of John. His introduction to Jesus by Philip led to Jesus' remarkable statement about his integrity. "Here's a true Israelite, in whom there is no deceit." Following Jesus' resurrection, Bartholomew traveled extensively to spread the gospel, with tradition stating he preached in India before eventually meeting martyrdom. As the stories of these apostles unfold, a common thread emerges: a life transformed by faith, a mission carried forth despite persecution, and a legacy that continues to inspire. Each apostle walked a different path, yet all remained steadfast in their commitment to Christ, proving that the power of faith can endure even the harshest trials. Their sacrifices laid the foundation for the church, ensuring that the message of Jesus would spread across nations and generations. Today, their courage and unwavering devotion continue to challenge believers to live out their faith with conviction, love, and perseverance.